Happy New Year, everyone. I have missed you guys so much. And I'm excited to bring you valuable content in 2023. I really hope you guys had a fantastic holiday and you're ready for some amazing content this year. Today, I'll be bringing you a video that will help you understand better your travel rights and help you, make a little bit of money in 2023. I'm going to be sharing with you an experience from October 2022 where I missed my connecting flight whilst I was flying from Canada to Nigeria, transiting through the UK. I ended up arriving in Nigeria much later than anticipated due to no fault of my own. I arrived to Nigeria approximately 12 hours later than scheduled and fought for compensation from the airline, which I successfully received. I would love to hear your experiences of claiming for compensation from airlines, both home and abroad. Do share your stories down below. If it's your first time here, my name is Sassy Funke and I'm a Nigerian travel and lifestyle content creator, really here to help Nigerians and Africans navigate travel better and smarter. If that sounds like something you're interested in and you gain value from, make sure to join this awesome community. Click that red subscribe button down below and give this video a huge thumbs up to let me know that you would love for me to create more content like this. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing the specifics of what exactly happened during the flight process where I missed my connecting flight. And two, I'm going to be sharing, I guess more interestingly, the process, right, of claiming for compensation from the airline. From what I claimed for, what evidence I had to provide to back up the claim, the feedback from the airline, how long it took for the airline to respond to actually paying out my claim, and finally, what exactly they compensated me for and what they didn't. What happened? I was traveling with my daughter from Ottawa all the way to Nigeria. So I had to fly to Toronto, from Toronto to London, from London to Lagos on British Airways. Key to note that this whole booking was a single booking, so it wasn't disjointed where I booked it at different times or with different airlines. It was actually booked on lastminute.com, but it was a single booking. My Toronto flight, when I got to Toronto, left much later than anticipated, which meant that I missed my connecting flight, my 11:20 BA flight from London to Lagos. I missed it. Well, actually, I didn't miss it, but by the time I landed, it was around like 11 o'clock, right? And my plane was already like preparing to depart. So the airline booked me on a different flight. So on arrival, the airline said, well, British Airways representative said that you've been booked on the later Virgin Atlantic flight. And the Virgin Atlantic flight, I believe, leaves at 10:25 or so p.m. And at this point, it's around 11 o'clock, 11:15. The representative then proceeds to give me a voucher. I think they gave me around £8. Well, £8 for me, £8 for my daughter. So £16 in total for feeding for me and my daughter. And to me, I thought that was a little bit absurd. You expect me to stay in the airport from 11:20 until 10:25 p.m. on £16. Nowhere to rest, nowhere to chill, nowhere to shower, given the long flight I just had from Toronto. I asked the airline, I asked British Airways if they could lodge my daughter and I in a hotel, for the duration of the time we have to wait for the Virgin flight. And they said no, that they only give hotel accommodation if your delay is overnight. So if, for example, I was leaving the next morning, the Virgin flight was the next morning, they will provide hotel accommodation, but in these circumstances, they cannot. I then asked, okay guys, can you then provide me with lounge access, right? At least this way I can give my daughter a shower, I can have a shower, I can relax before the Virgin flight. To which they said no, that because I was being rebooked on a Virgin airlines ticket, it operates from a different terminal, and BA does not have a lounge in the other terminal, so they can't give it to me. But they did say that if it was a BA flight that I was being rerouted on, they'll be able to extend that access to me, but they cannot give me lounge access for Virgin, which for me, I'm like, if you can rebook me on Virgin, you should be able to, communicate with Virgin to give me lounge access, no? But they said there's nothing they can do about that. So essentially, they left me with £16 for about, 11 plus hours with a 2-year-old to navigate the airport. At this point, I said, I need compensation because this just doesn't make sense. And at that point, they said they were going to get a supervisor. Well, so a supervisor came to speak to me, and they gave me 2 pamphlets, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to try and look for these pamphlets online, so if I can have the digital copy to actually provide the link. One of the pamphlets is one saying looking for help, what to do if your flight is delayed or cancelled, and the other one is about your rights when there's a problem with your flight. I am not sure if I didn't ask to speak to a supervisor if they would have given me this document, but they did give it to me, and they went through it to let me know that yes, indeed, I was entitled to some level of compensation. I was potentially, they didn't say as firm, like potentially entitled to compensation because my flight was delayed. And yes, they told me to just read all the information here. And also here, they talked about just to understand the legal rights. And I'll probably do another video detailing for you guys specifics to know your rights when it comes to navigating, traveling through the EU and the UK, even though, Brexit, and what you need to know and when you'll be compensated and when you wouldn't be compensated. I'll probably dive into that another time, but this is just, an overview of the 2 documents that they gave to me. The supervisor also gave my daughter and I this package, right? This package, and I can open the package for you right now. So they give 2 packages, so one for my daughter, one for myself. And in the package was here this extra large t-shirt, shaving cream, shaving stick, and a comb. I don't know why they gave me shaving, but whatever, that's fine. And yeah, this t-shirt, and a note just saying with compliments, right? I think in the other one I had opened, they actually also provided, a shampoo, deodorant, and hydrator. I might have taken that out, so that was in there before. I guess it was just doing that just to extend a little bit of kindness to me because I was very upset that it just makes no sense that you're gonna punish me to spend near 12 hours with a toddler with no accommodation. And yes, but that was that. So as I mentioned, he did explain to me how I can navigate the documents to claim for compensation after, but there was nothing they could do at the airport. At this stage, I decided to call my brother who lives in London, and he said that it's better that I, come over to the house rather than stay at the airport. I had to take a cab, an Uber from the Heathrow airport to my brother's house. I had to buy internet to obviously communicate with him. It's my gift gaff internet I paid for. I ordered some food while I was at the house on Uber Eats. I also, took the cab back, Uber, back to the airport again. The reason I mention all of these things that I spent is because I ended up claiming, filing to claim to be compensated for every single one of these items that I mentioned. In my opinion, right, it was unreasonable that I would have to stay in the airport for 11 plus hours with a toddler without any form of accommodation or, yes. In total, I ended up claiming for this £106.96 for, that's my taxi, dinner, and internet I ended up paying for. So let's talk about the claim or complaint process on British Airways. I should add that when I arrived in Lagos with Virgin the next day, my bags never came, but that's a different, thing. And maybe if you guys want, I can do a video on how to actually navigate your lost baggage when flying with Virgin BA? Like, let me know if you want that in the comment section below. So let's talk about the claims process. On the 28th of October 2022, I ended up filing a complaint on the British Airways website. The website that I used, the specific address was ba.com/travel/customer portal. This takes you directly to where you have to start filling out all the information. It took me approximately 20 minutes to complete this process. During this process, I claimed for two things. Number one, the expenses that I incurred due to the delay in my flight. That was the internet, the feeding, the transportation in London. I claimed for all that. I had to provide the receipts for every single item that I was claiming for here, which was very easy because for Uber Eats, I just you can easily like screenshot the receipts. So that was very, very easy to upload that onto the platform. And number two, I claimed to be compensated for what I was legally entitled to under UK law for the delay of my flight. Yes, under certain circumstances, if you guys are not aware, you are entitled for compensation of flight delay depending on what caused the delay, right? For example, if it's weather that causes delay, they won't compensate you. But other items are, there's some other things that fall into that category that I can create another separate video for. And also depending on the distance of travel. That affects whether or not you get compensated and how much you get compensated for. After I completed this process, I received an email with a case reference number for myself. Well, I received two emails, one for me and one for my daughter, but it was the same case reference. The other email for my daughter essentially was just saying that somebody has made a claim on your behalf. If it's, they've received a report on your behalf, just so you know that, right? So I received that email on the 28th of October. So right after I submitted, I received it. On the 9th of November, I received another email, just letting me know that British Airways is still on the case, that they're still looking into this, right? In the email, they said, we wanted to let you know that we haven't forgotten about your case. We're doing our best to please be assured we'll be in touch as soon as possible. On November 14th, they sent me another email saying we'll be in touch. They're very busy at the moment and have high volumes. But they'll basically do everything to make sure somebody reaches me soon. On November 28th, they said again, thank you for bearing with us. They said they're sorry that they've not been back in touch yet. They know that I've been waiting for a response now for 28 days, but rest assured they haven't forgotten about my case and they'll be in touch soon. December 5th, I was at this point, I was like, wait, are they just posting me? You know what I mean? They said, sorry, we are still waiting. We apologize. We're fully aware of how long it's been taking and how you probably feel. Then, so that was on December 5th that I received that sorry you're waiting. December 26th, I received an email from British Airways that they needed some banking information to make payment. They provided a link for me to actually provide this information. At this point, I was like, this means that something's gonna come out of this, so ching, 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 I think something will come out of this. December 27th, I received an email on the final feedback for my claim, and I'll read it out to you right now. December 27th. This is what it says. Dear Fisayo, my daughter, an update from British Airways. Thank you for contacting us about your claim for compensation. We'd also like to thank you for your patience whilst we got back to you about this. We're sorry it was necessary to delay your flight to London Heathrow on 25th of October 2022. We don't underestimate how much this must have disrupted your travel plans. We take all reasonable measures to avoid delaying your flight, and we also always consider if there are alternative solutions available before we make a decision. I've checked all the details of your journey, and I'm pleased, yay, to advise you that you're entitled to compensation for the delay to your flight BA98 on 25th of October 2022. They keep saying 25th because that was the day I left Canada. But yeah, it's the same. The distance of your disrupted journey was over 3,500 kilometers, and this has been calculated in accordance with UK law. right? This means that you are entitled to £1,040. That's $520 per passenger. So my daughter gets and I get, which means I get, right? Because I paid for her ticket, yes, in compensation. Additionally, they said, we're happy to settle your claim for the expenses of well. We have managed to investigate your claim for your expenses, for which the approved amount of is $106.96 for taxi, internet, and dinner. So essentially, they paid for everything. They investigated. This is why it's important to always have receipts, like legit receipts backing that up. It then goes on to say that the total amount of compensation you're due is £1,040 for the delayed flight, as there are 2 passengers included in your claim, and £106.96 for the expenses that you have incurred due to the flight delay. I have raised a bank transfer for this amount to your Starling account, which will be paid directly to you in the next 28 days. Please do not respond to this email as I'm a delayed payment being processed. Thanks again for getting in touch. Feel free to contact us if you need any help. We'll look forward to welcoming you on board. At this point, guys, I was like, I like abroad though. People there, they have processes. Like this claim literally took me 20 minutes to fill out. I know my parents have had delays that has been like 24 hours later, and a lot of people don't even know that they're entitled to compensation. They're potentially entitled depending on why the reason the delay was, right? So let me know, guys, did you guys know this rule or not? Let me know in the comment section below. So all in all, it took 60 days from the day when I filled out this claim form on the BA site to getting the feedback that my claim was successfully investigated and it's going to be paid out. The airline paid obviously for every single thing I claimed for. I ended up receiving the payment in my bank account on the 5th of January. So all in all, it took 69 days from actual claiming to getting the money in my bank account. So it's good to say that, I'm sure they get a lot of these people, they're processing a lot of claims, so be patient with it. They're working on it. I want to talk a little bit about the process of claiming on British Airways. Overall, the process was very easy. I found out that the user interface on their website was so easy. It was so easy to navigate. I feel like some companies will probably make it difficult sometimes so that you give up, but they made it so easy. It was so seamless, the process. So kudos to British Airways. The length of time that it took for them to actually respond to my claim, for me, I've heard people say sometimes it can take like months and months and a year, was very slow. I expected it to be quicker, right? But one thing I did appreciate was the fact that they kept on communicating. So I felt like at ease that, okay, it's not like they've forgotten about me. My claim is in a corner, one piece of paper, you know what I mean? So that reassured me that they had a process and it was just a matter of time that it would get to addressing my issue and my complaint and my claim. All in all, I felt the BA, claims process, complaint process was incredible. So that's it, guys. I really hope my video was super useful for you. If you made it here, leave a comment and say, Sassy, we are reaching 100K this year. If you guys have content ideas for 2023 and you want me to create, a different style of video for you guys that you'd love, that will be of value to you, please let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you guys are following me on my Instagram channels, following me on my TikTok. TikTok is where I create sharp form, amazing content these days. So don't snooze. And if you're new, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that red subscribe button down below and give this video a huge thumbs up. And I will see you guys all on my next video. Bye.